and welcome to the Lovebird Lane podcast. My name is Julianne and I can be found on Ravelry and Instagram as Lovebird Lane. Happy New Year, everybody. We are back for 2020. My husband is back to work, but today he is home, so I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious. He can probably hear me through the wall. He's just through there. I have closed the door, but I'm sure he can still hear me, so I'm feeling a bit self-conscious. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you could spend some time today to hear about what I've been working on over the last 4 weeks. I think it's been since I podcasted. My hair is mental at the moment. It needs another cut. It actually hasn't been done since I vlogged it last year, so I might dye it and cut it again today, later on, if I can be bothered. So I have a few things to talk about. I think I've got 4 or 5 finished objects. I just remembered that I have forgotten to bring one out here, so I might just go and grab that. And I'm back, and I could probably show you this one first. I'm probably going to get on with it because I've got quite a bit to talk about, plus I've got a little bit of other stuff to talk about at the end. So we'll get on with it. I'm going to talk about my Smock shawl first of all, because it is finished, as you probably would assume, because it was pretty well done the last time I podcast. That's the words that I want. Yeah, so I have completed my border, as you can see, and it is smocked, and well, it's a fake smock stitch, I believe, and I did my massive undertaking of the picot bind off, and it all worked out really lovely. This has been blocked, so it's nice and drapey, and it is so pretty. I love it so much. And this is Wool and Vine yarns, of course. It's, you know, beautiful yarn on her Nouveau base. And yes, I love it very much. I'll just pop it around my neck. I don't want to have it on for too long because although today isn't desperately warm, it is around 26 degrees. So there we go. You can kind of see it's almost a schlanket. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having this to wear when winter rolls around again. So that will be for a few months. Yeah, it won't be for a few months yet. And I've got fluff on my lips already. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. I actually did it quite quickly. And I'm pretty sure I used virtually 99% of all the yarn as well. I don't know that I had any left over. I think I may have had some I Am No Bird left, the very first colour in the shawl, this one here. I think that was the only one that I had a little bit left of. So I was really pleased with that because I don't like to really have any of my precious Wool and Vine yarns go to waste. So that was really great that I was able to use pretty much all of it in the shawl. So that is that. It is done, and yeah, I love the pattern. It was very well written. There was a YouTube tutorial to show you how to do those fake smocked stitches. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this one. And I have, what should I go to next? Probably the socks, because they're nice and easy to get to. So I finished my Intermission Socks. These were the yarn from Circus Tonic Handmade, and these are just my regular vanilla socks, and I found my sock blockers as well, so you guys can see them nicely laid out. Yeah, there's not really much more to talk about these because it's just the same type of vanilla sock that I do all the time. These ones are for me, so I have done these on a 2.25mm needle, 64 stitches. You'll recall probably that I do Simon's socks now on a 2.5mm needle because he likes them slightly less tight a gauge. But yes, these are all done, and yeah, I obviously cannot wear them just yet, so they will get photographed and put away in the drawer. But yeah, quickly get through those because it's just socks. I knit socks all the time, although not at the moment. My knitting mojo's gone away a little bit, but I'll discuss that later. I'll get through my FOs first, and my hair is still crazy. Yes, so I can get on to my last 2 FOs, and they are both sweaters. So I finally finished this beast, and this is my Ninilchik Swoncho, and it is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. And yeah, I finished it. I was so close to finishing. This was cast on in November 2018, so it's been on the needles for a really long time. And when I dug it out, I think I was already past the armholes, and I think I only had to do about 4 inches of the body to finish, and then do my sleeves. So this has not been blocked yet. I keep forgetting to block it actually. I've done a bunch of washing of knitwear of late, but I keep forgetting to wash this one. So the colour work is still a little bit bumpy, but you kind of get the point. Once I wash it, I'll take some more photos and pop them on my Ravelry page. And as always, show notes will be down in the description box. So if you do want to have a look at those photos eventually, you'll be able to find the link down there. But yeah, I knit the bulk of this so long ago, I don't actually really remember much of the knitting process. Caitlin Hunter's patterns are very good. I've never had any issue following them ever. And I think this is the second sweater that I've knit out of patterns from her. And yeah, the colour work was relatively simple. I did catch my floats. Now I know a lot of people like to look at the floats, so I'll turn my sweater inside out and I won't show you all of the clipped ends. I'll show you the front where there aren't any ends. So there we go, that is my floats in there. So you can see on this round in particular, I have caught my floats in the middle of those large silver sections there. And yeah, it is a little bit puckery as it is, but I'm sure that's probably going to all even out once I block it. I did wear this not too long ago, I think around New Year's. It was actually quite cool over New Year's. And I remember being in our lounge room here and wearing this, and I was a little bit disappointed that the arms were very short. They only came to sort of halfway down my forearm, and looking at the pattern picture, she's got very long cuffs. I know in the pattern, I believe she does say possibly to knit extra ribbing if you want to fold the sleeves back, which I didn't really want to do. So I just knit to I think it was 7 inches or something that the cuff was supposed to be knit to. So I just kind of knit to that length. But yeah, it only comes down to sort of, you know, like not even bracelet length. Like it's like halfway down my forearm. So yeah, I'm gonna wait and see what happens once I block it, because I feel like the color work may relax quite a bit and then add a little bit of length to the project. But if the sleeves are still short once I've blocked it, I might unpick my bind off and keep knitting, because I do have a little bit of that. This is Knit Picks in their City Tweed DK, and I do have some of this grey still left, so I can just pick out my bind off and pick up the stitches and keep knitting for however long I need the sleeves. So there we go. That is the Ninilchik Swoncho, and now that I've kind of narrowed down the colours that I like to wear, and I'm more into pinks and burgundies than sort of browns, the colours in this aren't desperately what I would like to wear, and the blue actually turned out a little bit more teal. It's a little bit more green. I was expecting it to be a little bit more sort of almost mid navy blue, like not a dark navy blue, but just a mid navy blue. But yeah, it's more of a teal. But I'm sure I will get plenty of wear out of this. The burgundy talks to me, and the purple talks to me, so, or speaks to me, I think is the way I should probably be saying it. So yes, this will get some wear. The only thing I did find when I did wear it, which I'm hoping will soften a little bit when I block it, this yarn has alpaca in it, and I think I have a mild alpaca intolerance. It's not an allergy, I just don't particularly like the feel of it against my skin. I knit an entire alpaca sweater once and it was so itchy, and I can't wear it at all. So yeah, this has an alpaca content, and even just holding it against my chest right now, it is so prickly, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see when I block it to see if that alpaca prickle goes away or not. Because as it is, I don't know that I'm going to be able to wear it unless I have a complete full-on up to my neck, down to my wrist t-shirt underneath. I managed to wear it the other night because I was cold, so I kept it on, but yeah, it was very itchy. So yeah, the outcome, well, not the outcome, the ultimate destination of this sweater may or may not be with me. So but I guess if that happens, I can pick colors that are that speak to me a little bit more for another one, because I do like the style of this. So yeah, I probably won't, if this works, I probably won't knit it again. However, if this doesn't work, I may knit it again. So we'll move on. And my final FO, ooh, as you probably just saw a little bit, I've got so much fluff on me. My final FO is my Pebble Cardi. I finally finished it, everyone. Look, it's finished. It's a cardigan, yay. And I have worn this quite a lot. I actually wore it on New Year's Eve. And in the true spirit of Julianne Does the Podcast, my camera battery ran out. So we're keeping to our regular format. There's going to be a break in the middle. I'm going to lose my flow and then I'm going to come back and try and recreate it. So I'm pretty sure when my battery ran out, I was talking about my Pebble Cardi. So I will get back to that. She's got finished. So if you remember, I was struggling to get the seaming done on this because I just was not happy with the way it was working out. It was, what's the word? It was looking pretty mangled, and the fact that I liked this project so much and I had so much enjoyment making the pieces, I decided that terrible seams was not going to be good enough for this project. So it sat in the naughty corner for quite a while. I dug it out before the end of the year just so I can try and get the yardage onto 2019's count, and I did get it finished. So she has sleeves, as I think I showed you already. Nice long sleeves. They're actually really good length sleeves, these ones. They come down to sort of the knuckles at the base of my fingers, and I can, what do you call it, fold it back, as I was talking about with my Ninilchik. Yes, so it's going to be hard to show you because she's very long. But yeah, I seamed it and I did the neckband all pretty close to New Year's. I think I might have even finished it on New Year's Eve or New Year's Eve. Yeah, so I'll show you the seams. My shoulder seams were really easy because I could just do like a slip stitch sort of joining, because obviously at the top of the pieces you've got those nice like V-shaped loops that are very easy to match up and get a nice even seam. But for the rest of it, I will show you. I ended up doing two different types of mattress stitch. So there's this one that's on the long side seams here, and this was, I can't remember off the top of my head who it was by, but it is on my project page. If you are interested, head to my project page. So that's what it looks like on the outside. It's still not fabulous under this light anyway. It's very obvious where the seam is, but I think the nature of crochet actually makes invisible seams quite hard. The arm seams, let me see, I think the arm seams, even though that was the method that I didn't enjoy initially, I think I did a much better job. So it's possible that I just needed the time out and I needed the practice. So I'll turn the sleeve inside out. Yeah, just to get that. So that's what it looks like on the inside here. Yeah, so she's finished. The seaming is, like I say, I think it's just the nature of crochet that you're never going to get that really nice, because I'm so used to seaming knittings where you know, do a mattress stitch in knitting and it just disappears and it just looks like a single piece of fabric. So I think because that's what my brain is used to, the fact that this these seams are a little bit more noticeable. Yeah, it just kind of didn't really gel in my head. But she's finished and I really enjoy wearing her. She's very snug. And yeah, I'm going to get a lot more wear out of this because the colour is just nice and gentle and will go with everything that I own. Grey and pink is one of my favourite combinations, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is going to get a lot of wear. I don't think it's probably not likely to be the toastiest for like middle of winter kind of times, but I think on the cool evenings as, you know, autumn sort of rolls around and things like that, it's going to be perfect. So nice simple pattern, very enjoyable to do. And I didn't mention, but this is by Melissa Fisher, who is Woods and Wool. So like I said before, you can find the link down in the description and you can go and find the pattern if you so wish. All right, and I'll get on to my works in progress that I'm working on. I'll start with the super boring one, which is another sock. So I went around to my mother-in-law's house. Wasn't last Friday, Friday before, because it was a 43 degree day and she has a pool, so we took the dog, packed up Granger, and Simon and I went around and spent the afternoon in the pool. So I brought some yarn to cast on another sock for after pool times because we were going to stay for dinner. So you know, between swimming and dinner and things like that, I thought I would cast on a sock. So this is some yarn that has been in my stash for a very long time. Let's grab the label. It is All About Yarn, so I'll take my eyes out of there so it'll hopefully focus. All About Yarn, and the colourway is Gentle Elegance, and it is a 100% merino, I think. I just had it in front of my face, but I'm pretty sure it's a 100% merino. And yeah, it's just like a micro stripe of 4 different colours. There's 2 different shades of grey, a pink and a purple stripe. There's my very messy ball right there. But yeah, it's just another vanilla sock. These ones will be for me, so I'm doing them on 2.25mm needles. I have a little stitch marker there. From my, wasn't the Christmas just gone, the Christmas before, I got Christmas at Hogwarts from a homespun house, and this was one of the, I can't remember if it was a Sucro miniature or whether it was a Simply Serving miniature, but this is Liquid Luck Shake. I think it came on the Liquid Luck yarn, which was the one that I've already knit a pair of socks out of. Now that I think about it, I don't even know if I photographed those. So yeah, that Progress Keeper came with that. So yeah, I just knit a bunch of these. I went to the doctor's on Friday, and as always, my doctor was about 3 or 4 patients behind, so I got quite a bit of knitting done on this then. So yeah, this is, like I said, my knitting mojo's kind of disappeared on me a little bit, so I think I possibly have just burned myself out because I spent most of the holidays just knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting, and now I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, oh god, I just need to do something else, or nothing at all. So I don't know when these are going to get done. You know what I'm like with socks, they just get done when and if I feel like it, and you know, I may get a bee in my bonnet and decide I want to finish the pair, so who knows. But that is a pair of socks that I am working on. And the next thing I can talk about, this is a test knit that I am doing, and I started it with some different colours and I have changed my mind and moved to new colours. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that I'm doing the Pixelex wrap test, who is for Erin Kurup, who is remade by hand, and I haven't done a test for Erin for a very, very long time. I was one of her original testers, and I did quite a few of her patterns. I think I did 4 or 5 test knits for her back when she started designing, and I saw this wrap and I thought it would be fun to have another go. So she selected me for her test, and I am using 3 of my own colorways, which I will show you now. These are all on singles yarn. So this one here is Whisper, and I've got Black Hole, and Inkwell. So these are the three colours that I'm using, and I have done my first section. So you start with an end piece. So this is mosaic knitting. I don't know that I've ever done mosaic knitting as such. I've done slip stitches obviously, but I don't think I've ever done them so that they create like a colour work effect. So it's going to be very hard to see because if you've used singles yarn, you know that it can be a little bit wobbly before it gets blocked. So this is just some mesh at the bottom, and then it goes up into the mosaic knitting. So it's going to need a good block to really bring out the pattern in there. So that is the end piece, and then you cast on another section, and it's all twisted. I've started the mosaic section. Let me just untwist it. It's been shoved into another one of my Home Row Fibre Co yarn bowls. There we go. So I've started the second piece, and I believe this piece will be basically the whole body, and then I believe how it works is both of the end corners will go together to create a diamond, and then you decrease inwards, I believe is how it is done. So, but I have a long way to go before then. And the test knit is finished in March, so I do need to get a wriggle on, and the fact that I don't have any knitting mojo at the moment is not really helping for, because it is a slightly more complex kind of pattern, because I do need to have the chart up in front of me so that I know where I'm slipping my stitches and where I'm knitting my stitches. So it is slightly more complex, and yeah, the fact that I don't have any knitting mojo is kind of really putting a spanner in the works there. Plus, one of the reasons that I went to the doctor on Friday was I have a little lump just in here in my wrist, and turns out it's a ganglion cyst, and from what my doctor said, it's pretty much from overwork and overuse and strain, which is hardly surprising because I am right-handed, and with all of the crafting that I do and the dyeing that I do, you know, dyeing is a very physical job. I think that's something that not a lot of people really realize. I certainly didn't realize before I started doing yarn dyeing as a career. So yeah, my right hand gets worked a lot because I'm pretty well useless with my left hand. It's not very very dexterous. It's perfectly good at helping my right hand, but that's about it. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all that I have a ganglion cyst in my wrist, and from time to time I get a lot of pain in this wrist in general, and I'm beginning to wonder whether perhaps it's my cyst that is possibly every now and then pushing on a nerve and giving me some wrist pain. So especially on Fridays when I do my cleaning, I purchased myself a new vacuum, and it is very strong. And even when, you know how you've got those little suction vent, little slidey things, I'm going off on a tangent here, aren't I? That kind of reduce the suction by opening up a little hole on your vacuum handle. Even then it is very hard to push across the floor, especially carpet. So I do get a lot of pain in this wrist and this elbow from vacuuming and mopping and things at my cleaning shift on Fridays. So along with that and all of the knitting, I'm really not surprised that I have a cyst growing in my wrist. They are harmless. There's nothing nefarious about it at all. The only time that they really, apparently, because they're very hard to treat from what my doctor said, they will only really treat it if it gets very big or it starts inhibiting my mobility. And at this point in time, I have no issue with mobility. The only issue, like I said, is just a little bit of pain from time to time. But that is all. But I have one more work in progress to show you, and this has been the one that has been getting most of my time, because although I'm not really interested in knitting much at the moment, this is a little bit more mindless. So it's actually been taking all of the little bits of knitting time that I have, because I've got it memorized. So I will just grab it and I will share it with you. So this is another pattern from Wool & Vine. So surprise, surprise. This is the Stoker Shawl. So it is what Kristen calls a schlanket. So it'll be very big. I am onto my last 2 balls. I dyed 4 skeins of yarn for this. The pattern asks for DK, but I had some bare wool of the Andes worsted, which is a little on the lighter side of worsted, so it's probably closer from worsted to what I would say is probably closer to a DK. I mean, this is a little bit felted because it's the bit that's hanging out the back, so I mean, it doesn't look as fine, but it's knitting up very much like a DK. And this is a new colorway that I dyed, and it is called Damson. It was kind of an oopsie kind of colorway, and I just put some red over the top and it created this lovely purple red kind of colorway. So I was pretty happy with how it worked out in the end. I think it's coming up a little more blue on the screen, but there is a lot of blue in this. But yes, this is just a triangle shawl, and it has a lot of different little design elements that make it really interesting. So down the center here, we've got these bubbles, and then the increases come out from there, which create almost like that ridge. And we've got bubbles, we have got ridges here, just garter ridges. And then from the garter ridges there's an eyelet row, and then there's some lace, and then another eyelet row, and it has tassels. So I am fully intending to put the tassels on this, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. And like I said, just because I've not had the mojo to do any knitting, and this is pretty much just remember to do your increases and count your rows to do your bobble and your garter ridge. It's been super simple for me just to knit on it. If I have like just a little spurt and I want to knit, I can just knit on that for like 5 minutes and not feel bad to put it down. Just do a couple of rows, put it down. And the only other thing I've been working on is a scarf for my mother-in-law. Was hoping to get it done for her birthday, which is Thursday, I believe, tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen. So like I said, my crafting mojo is gone. It's even spread so far as weaving, so I can't really be bothered going and getting my loom and showing it to you. I can see it's right over there, and now my camera's messing around with me, so I'm having a good time. I have shown you everything that I'm working on though, so I could probably leave it there. I will just get onto some other little bits that I was just going to mention. I am beginning to vlog on my other channel. So if you do not know, I have a second channel, and it is just called Julianne Elizabeth, because that is my name. And yeah, I have linked it down below if you are interested, because I am embarking on an alternate day fasting lifestyle change. So this year, I'm gonna this time try and actually lose my weight for good, and so I am embarking on an every other day fast. So I'm having periods of fasting about 36 to 40 hours, and today is a fast day. I had an eat day yesterday. I started on Monday. Monday was my first fast day, and I got to about 37 hours, I think, between eating. Obviously I'm drinking a lot of water. I can have the odd black coffee, so that's all I've had today is just a black coffee and some water. So if you are interested, I do have that second channel over there, and if you would like to follow along on my alternate day fasting vlogs, head over there. I hope you will join me if that interests you in any way. And I can't actually remember what I was talking about when my camera cut out, but I might leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one because my battery is nearly dead again. So thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.